My spouse booked me a 2-week retreat to work on myself before our anniversary. Booking that trip was the best thing they ever did for me, just not the way they planned. For 4 years, I wasn't a partner. I was a project. Every conversation circled back to what I needed to fix. Too quiet at dinners, too distracted, too much in my own head. Colette had a word for all of it. Work. As in, you still have so much work to do. She said it gently, always with a soft hand on my arm, always loud enough for whoever was nearby to hear. At first, I believed her. That's the part nobody warns you about. When someone frames every flaw as concern, you start thanking them for pointing it out. I apologized for things I couldn't name. I read the book she left on my nightstand. I went to the therapist she picked, the one who somehow only ever had notes for me. Our friends adored her. She was the patient one, the saint married to the difficult one. At parties, she'd catch someone's eye across the room, glance at me, and give this small, tired smile. Everyone understood. Poor Colette. 3 weeks ago, she came home glowing. She'd booked me something. A 2-week solo retreat up in Cedar Hollow. Cabins, silence, no phones after 8. A place to finally do the work before our anniversary. Her sister Nadia had recommended it. Go alone, she said. Really sit with yourself. I said it felt like a lot of money for me to just disappear. She squeezed my hand. Think of it as an investment in us. The night before I left, she packed my bag herself, folded everything, set the welcome folder on top. I watched her and felt that small, wrong note again, the one I'd trained myself to ignore. This didn't feel like a gift. It felt like being cleared off a table. The drive up was 4 hours. The cabins had no service, exactly as promised. For 2 days, I did what I was told. Journaled, walked, sat with myself. And in all that quiet, the noise in my head got quieter too. Without Colette narrating my failures in real time, I couldn't find most of them. On the third morning, I drove into town for coffee, and my phone lit up the second it caught a signal. Backup syncing. Colette managed all our devices, accounts, passwords, cloud storage. Her system, she always said, so nothing got lost. My tablet had auto-synced to the shared drive. There was a folder titled with my name. Inside were screenshots going back 2 years. My texts, clipped and reordered. Photos of me looking tired, each one dated and labeled. A running document she'd called incidents, logging every argument rewritten so I was always the one who started it. And message threads with Nadia. Keep reinforcing that they're unstable. The lawyer says a documented pattern is everything. Once they're at the retreat, host the dinner, get everyone on record saying they've been worried. The lawyer, there were emails. She'd hired one 6 months earlier. She'd toured an apartment. She'd moved $11,000 out of our joint savings into an account with only her name, logged as home repairs. The retreat wasn't for me. It was to get me off the board while she hosted a dinner for our entire circle, both families included, and set the story in concrete. The unstable partner, away getting help, while patient Colette quietly built her exit and her audience. The anniversary dinner was Saturday, at Nadia's house. 20 people, she'd said. I didn't call. I didn't warn her. I stayed 2 more days, copied everything onto 3 separate drives, and forwarded the whole folder to my own lawyer, hired from the coffee shop parking lot that afternoon. Saturday, I drove the 4 hours back and walked into Nadia's house at 7. Colette was mid-sentence, wine glass raised, telling the table how hard this season had been on her, how she just wanted me to get better. The room turned toward the door. Her smile froze. You're supposed to be at the retreat. I know. I did the work, though. You always said I would. I set 3 folders on the table and slid them toward the guests who'd been nodding along. She stood up fast. What is this? Colette's incident log. Her messages to Nadia. The savings account she emptied in March. The lawyer she hired while telling every person in this room that I was the one falling apart. Nadia went white. A friend flipped a folder open and stopped chewing. You went through my private files, Colette said, her voice climbing. This is exactly the behavior I've been dealing with for years. I looked at her. Then at the room she'd spent 2 years quietly building against me. You told everyone I needed to do the work, so I did. I just found out who the project really was.